science fiction on a screen so bright. Old classics and the new delights. The unapologetic geek will lead the way, with facts and fun to fill your day. Discussing every detail, every frame, from the eerie to the loud and the tame. Gig along with all that's great. Those Sunday vibes you can't debate. Tug along with the Sunday crew. Geeking out is what we do. Giggle on, it's gonna be great. Don't be late, let's celebrate.
Wow.
I don't know what that was. That was weird. Anyway,
That's not going to hang out with me. It's just weird.
welcome to Tug Chat.
It's like from the SNL bit last night. Everybody else saw that. Ew.
Sorry.
No, I was gone.
The whole morning's been a comedy routine.
That is true.
Dan is lucky to be with us because everything is going wrong.
Yeah.
You sounded so tragic when you said that, Benny.
You look tragic too.
So let's see. I want to say hi to the people in the chat.
Oh, look,
Texas
crazy.
Night. Good
You
morning.
could go weird. I could go one step weirder.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, I don't look weird. I just look like I should be fried chicken.
Try gator.
No, you look weird.
And,
What Pon said.
and hello,
Hi,
Vin Van der
everyone.
Straaten. Good to see you.
Buddy.
Just Carolyn.
Just her.
Nathaniel Bowden. And let's see. Oh, the entertainment headquarters is here. Awesome.
Right on. That's a good
Okay.
channel.
Yeah, he and I are going to be doing a retrospect on the giant behemoth on the 31st with
Ooh.
Walter Ross and a lot of great other people,
Nice.
Around
Sounds
what
good.
other people?
most of whom I have not actually met yet, but I am so looking for. Uh-oh. Oh, don't tell me we're going to start crashing
It's
again.
going around, dude. Don't feel bad.
It's just a weird lag.
I've got
You're not
this
like
incredible floating head laptop today because you can see everything bobbing around. I'm having to hold it up and down to get a signal, and I'm right in front of the Wi-Fi thing. I mean, like literally 4 foot from it. It's like,
Yeah.
you're coming in okay now, Dan.
yeah. But if I walk 8 feet from where I'm at, I won't be. If I don't keep watching
Stop
that little
walking.
bar and turning it a certain way every few minutes, well, then I won't be. But I'm okay for now.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's see. Today we're going to talk
My
about
David
just
glasses. There, I can see better.
movie memories. You know, like just experiences that we've had, just fond memories, or they could even be traumatic memories if you really want. But any kind of memories we have around movies, whether it's going to the movie, watching a movie at home, anything like that. You know, drive-ins. If young people even know what those are anymore. Anything.
Right?
And I feel like, you know, I've been getting caught in a loop on this channel where all I do is just like list out movies, and I kind of wanted to try something a little bit different, something a little bit more, you know, personable, just us telling stories. We're still gonna go in around like I usually do because that works for me. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I guess I should start just to demonstrate what I mean by movie memories. So I'll go ahead and tell a story that I think I've already told on this channel before, but you know, can't hurt to say it again. When I was 9 years old, my parents, my family moved to a new house, and it was a much bigger house. We had like this giant living room with like basically it was 2-floor ceiling, like it was just all the way up 2 floors. So it was like a big empty space. And before we even had furniture in, we had the TV in the corner, like sitting on the mantelpiece of the fireplace, well, like in front of the mantelpiece. And my parents had to have a night out because I think it was their anniversary or something like that. And so they left me and my brothers. I was the youngest of 3 brothers. They left me home with them to babysit me and my oldest brother and his best friend John, who shows up on my chat a lot. They decided they wanted to watch Alien at like 9 o'clock at night. It was dark in a room, giant room with no furniture, and I watched it with them. And when my parents got home, they were so mad, and I was terrified. I was just like, Alien at 9 years old. I blame that for my love of horror to this day. I think that it affected me in ways I didn't fully understand, because I was both apoplectic with horror, but at the same time I was just fascinated by that. Like, how can a movie do that to me? How can I get this scared by something? Like, it never even occurred to me that some space movie could be terrifying, because like, to me, space movies, Star Wars, it's all fun and happiness, and yeah, sure, there's conflict and there's bad guys, but it's all in good fun. But no, not Alien. Alien's not in good fun at all. There's something like my subconscious could grasp that I couldn't, because I was only 9. I'm not going to get that weird psychosexual xenomorph thing. But it definitely,
right?
It definitely like twisted me in ways that I still feel today. So that's my first story.
Honestly, dude, hey, I was a little bit older than you, and I was like 14 when it came out.
Yeah.
And even as a 14-year-old, I remember that being one of the few movies that actually shocked me or had that slap in the face effect, like when the thing came out the stomach, that got me. And
oh yeah,
Yeah, it got me
that
too.
was probably the worst one of the bunch. And then there was that horrible thing.
I remember when I was in college, I read an article in one of my literature classes, and they talk about Ellen specifically. There's a primal fear about being parasited upon.
Yeah.
That they say goes back to probably before we were even human, probably when we were just like animals. But there's something about having like parasites growing on us, and it has to do with the fact that forms of life that were terrified of that and avoided it lived while the rest got predated. So they theorize that the reason that Alien was so effective as a horror movie is that it tapped into this like collective unconsciousness horror that we all share to this day. It really hit a chord. It's not so much a science fiction film as a horror movie set in space.
Yeah. And like the alien being,
you never see that one like leaving an imprint on you as a child,
being like an insect or like based on a wasp, and like, I don't know. Yes, there's something very primal. It really hits you in the lizard brain, in ways that not a lot of movies can. And I personally, Alien is probably the scariest movie I can think of, and probably because of that 9-year-old experience. Like, I don't think any movie has ever scared me as much as Alien did. Alien really got me. Ever since then, I think I've been trying to chase that high, and I have yet to find it.
Any movie that has a man getting impregnated by an alien is going to be rough.
True. And there were a lot of those in the early 80s.
I know, there were a lot of copycats.
Yeah. Tom McCluskey watched Frankenhooker last week. Good for you. On a date. Love that.
Isn't Night of the Blood Beast, isn't that the initial movie which utilizes the premise of alien impregnation of a human?
Probably. I'd have to look it up.
I believe that's the first time you actually see it on screen.
It sounds great.
Movie scared me as a kid.
Man. Yeah, Phantasm kind of freaked me out a little bit, but not like Alien. Like Phantasm, I'm a little like creeped out, but then like, the giant ball hits that guy in the head, blood spurts out of it. I thought that was hilarious.
With the fork. With the grill fork.
Some people's got a strange idea of humor.
Friday the 13th part 6. Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, so who wants to go next? Should we go in order?
Just go in order. That way we can remember what we're doing.
Okay, Sarah, that means it's your turn.
Okay. Stories. Now, all right. here's a good one for you guys, right? As a child, right, I really, really loved to collect Garbage Pail Kid cards, right? Of course, right? Who didn't? I mean, they're just amazing. I mean, my brother and I got fights over them. I ended up having to give all my cards to him because he said I had all his cards when I did not. But he just wanted my cards because I had the good ones, like Flabby Abby and things like that. Anyway, so they were a lot of fun, right? And then years passed and I became an adult. It happened. Anyways, and my cousin was like, okay, look, I'm going to go get us some movies to watch. And I was like, awesome. So he goes to one place and he buys Garbage Pail Kids the movie. And I'm like, what? Anyways, and then we go, okay, we're going to watch. So we get all the drinks and everything to watch it, right? We get peppermint schnapps. We get everything, right? We're going to just enjoy we thought we were going to enjoy. That's crazy. Anyways, to this day, I can no longer peppermint schnapps. Okay. Oh no. I got cured of that. Anyways, but yeah, terrible movie. Don't recommend ever. I mean, not even to people who say enemies. But no, cannot. Yeah, there you go. There's an experience there. The only line I liked from the movie was when they sent everybody to the home for the ugly. That was funny, but everything else was terrible. Don't ever Garbage Pail Kids. Okay, it's a warning. It's a public service announcement. Okay, I'm warning you. Warning, don't. Okay? Don't. Save yourself. Collect the cards. They were good. Anyways, don't recommend that movie. Just saying. Anybody else?
I've seen it, but I barely remember it. I just remember it as a kind of fever dream. That's all I got.
Ooh, no, I've had fever dreams, and they were great. That was not.
Never saw it.
Oh, recommend don't.
I actually remember complaining about it all the way through it. So.
Of course.
It doesn't surprise me, Dad. You would do that. You'd be like, I have to watch this? Well, I'm going to tell you how I feel.
I have to watch every movie. That's my fault. I have to watch every movie at least once. Or I can't barely tell people how big a piece of crap it is.
So you've seen The Room now? Silence, crickets, what?
You should see some of the stuff I sat through.
Well, I've had the things too. I mean, Garbage Pail Kids is proof. Wow. Anyways, you might see my eyes are still bleeding from that, but anyways. That's what I got to say. Anybody else feel the same? Let me tell you how I really feel. Oh yeah. Anyway, so someday I'll tell you what I really think. I haven't yet.
The PG
this is a family show.
Yeah.
That's all I got for that one.
Okay. Well, I guess that means it's your turn, Tracy. Tell us a story.
Okay. My one of my all-time favorite movies I know is not exactly, a PC movie at all, because back in the day when I first saw this, I was kind of punk back in the day. I was at my head. Yeah, my hair was black and blonde in the front. I mean, I had shaved over my ears. I had one of those things going. Yeah, I used to get my clothes from the resale shop in Doc Martens to boot. So it's like one of my favorite movies that had impact on me was Clockwork Orange. I fell in love with Malcolm McDowell right then and there, and I loved every one of his movies. If too, like that was a good movie, but Clockwork Orange got me to where I was, because that is what teenage angst is really all about. And especially if you're a guy, you're going to feel that sexual angst, that's just something that just comes with it, so it's like I didn't see it for I just saw it for this guy who's going through a lot of shit, and his parents don't listen to him, nobody listens to him, and they try to rehabilitate the poor guy, and he's still the same old guy he ever was.
Rehabilitate the poor guy. They should have taken him out and executed him.
Well, anyways,
take him out back and pop one in the head.
That's mine.
Okay, so I agree with you a lot on that movie. However, do not watch that movie when you're coming down from like days of partying, okay? And you're like, I'm going to be cool and watch this, right? Like, you're 21. I was 21. Anyways, I'm going to be cool and watch this coming down from weeks of partying, right? And I'm drinking Red Bulls. Anyways, I can't Red Bull anymore.
No, but you nailed I'm impressed, Tracy. You actually nailed what that movie's actually about. A lot of people think it's about behavioral conditioning or whatever, but no, it's really about just teenage angst. That's all it is.
Real hard teenage
Yeah.
angst.
Yeah,
Right.
like, to the nth degree, like to the extreme. But yeah,
Fitting
Another
in with
thing,
his
if you're gonna
buddies.
make a movie about teenage anger, you shouldn't get 30-year-olds to play the parts in it.
well, there's
Yeah.
that. But, Hollywood.
Well, I don't want to watch children doing weird
Well, back
things either.
then, it's like you
Just
got what you
saying.
got.
Malcolm
Yeah, I
McDowell
thought-
was
I know
perfect
how
for that
it works.
part.
Oh, he was
I know
absolutely.
how
He's
it
never
works.
Absolutely
been
Oh,
in
yeah.
that part.
I saw
know,
the
my-
blob. I know how it works.
my mom saw a Clockwork Orange on a date one time. Needless to say, she did not see that guy again.
It's not really a date movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
if you ask
no.
a girl
Beyond
Clockwork
that,
Orange,
though, there's like so
I
much
know.
beyond that. It's not just the face value,
Well,
no, it's
yeah,
a
but,
Kubrick movie, so I mean, there's
Mhm.
so much to it.
Yeah.
well, right. So and now, if you see, like I said, my favorite part though, the milk, man. I want to drink drugged milk all day long. Anybody who knows me knows I love milk. Okay.
But no, you're right. Malcolm McDowell was perfect for it. And
Oh yeah.
growing up in the 80s and 90s, I always wondered like where these teenagers came from that were like 30 years old. Like it was commonplace in TV and movies for teenagers to be 30-year-olds.
Well,
Going all the way back to even Steve McQueen in The Blob. He was,
Right.
I think, 29 and he was supposed to be 18. Yeah, right.
Think
Right.
about it. Welcome Back, Kotter. All those guys are way past their teens already.
Well, they recently had a made-for-TV adaptation of Catch-22. I don't know if any of you guys saw it.
Wow.
Nope.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But one of the things I really enjoyed about it is they're all age appropriate. Don't be wrong. I loved Alan Arkin's adaptation. It was great, but they're all like pushing 40. They're supposed to be very, very, very young Army Air Corps
Look,
personnel.
yeah,
And
we
part of
can
it.
all play teenagers now, okay? Now that we're past, well, I'm 42 and you're all older than me, so we can all play teenagers now, okay?
No.
Thank you.
We finally made it to teenager land.
the man who wrote Catch-22, his name eludes me for the moment. I'm very sorry, Indy.
Ken Kesey.
I think he was 20 years old when
Oh.
his experiences took place in World War II. And when you see it, and it's all very, very, very young, fresh-faced kids who are barely out of their teens, it has so much more impact than the Alan Arkin one, which was a great anti-war film. But I feel making them look like the children they were really drives the point home. So yeah, I think somewhat you really, really need the teenagers to play the teenagers.
I agree,
Sometimes.
100%.
Yeah,
Looks
that would
like,
make it believable. We can't have that.
Franco
I remember
Zeffirelli's
watching
Romeo and
that show
Juliet.
called 21 Jump Street and thinking to myself, it'll be called 32 Jump Street.
Franco Zeffirelli
Wow.
kind of pushed the envelope in another
He
direction. I think we
did.
can all agree
He
with
went a
that.
little far,
Yeah.
but he was trying to make a point, I guess. Point made.
Is that what he called it? It's justified artistically. No,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
you. Now, when I first saw it as a teenager, it didn't really occur to me because it's like, well, they're all adults in my book. But when you watch it now, it's like, ugh. It's like
Something about McDowell. He had a young face.
He did.
he still does.
Oh.
He's like in his
I know.
70s and he still has a young face.
Oh, he's so
Yeah.
handsome. Even as an old guy now, he is really good. A good
And
looking
Vim was right. Honorable mention to his role in Time After Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked him in
Well, that's a good
Generations.
movie.
Although he looked nothing. He looked nothing like
he didn't
H.G.
look-
Wells. He did
yeah.
an amazing job, but
Not even close.
again, yeah. And also, men at that time, if you had hair that wavy, you would have gelled it down.
True.
It's like-
Lots of dippity do back in the day, or dippity don't.
David Warner,
No.
though, as Jack the Ripper, he was
Amazing.
also amazing.
He was
you
very
can't look at that
good.
movie and not say, David Warner is he is Jack the Ripper in here. If
Yeah.
that sounds right, I don't know. You guys know what I meant.
I really like that movie a lot, though.
Time After Time, it's a great movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
an
love
awesome movie.
Mhm.
I've covered
Yes,
it
you
I
on
love
this
that
channel.
movie.
it. I know. It's one of my favorites. too.
Was that a song? Time After Time?
Yes, it was written by Cyndi Lauper because she saw the title Time After Time in the TV guide and wrote a whole song.
There you go.
No
Just the
way.
title.
Is that for
Get
real?
out of town.
That's
Oh my
actually
gosh.
that's the truth. Yep.
I never. That's a great anecdote. I can't believe it's taken me 40 years to hear it.
Yeah.
Me too. Josh, you and I are the same age. I understand your
Virtually, we're
plight.
virtually the same age.
Yeah, my month or
It's one of
two.
my favorite little nuggets. I got lots of those. I collect them. And people are talking about Caligula. We're not going to talk about Caligula.
I saw
No,
that
no,
movie.
I got a story about that. We don't need to talk about that. It's a family show.
If you want to do another Malcolm McDowell movie, talk about If, which
Yeah,
I
that was
finally
great. I
saw.
love that. That
If
movie
was on my
awesome.
movie bucket list for like since I was in college, and
Yeah, I
I never
haven't
got a
seen it
chance
yet.
to see it, and I found it somewhere, and I'm like, finally, I've finally seen If. Finally.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
It was.
I think I saw it because my library had the VHS of it.
Did anybody see him in the Halloween remake movies
Oh,
And
yeah, where
realize-
he was Sam Loomis. Yeah.
and realized that he was the only thing in all of the movies that was actually any good at all?
Yeah, those Rob Zombie's Halloween movies are terrible. But yeah,
They're-
Malcolm
they're-
McDowell
they're
is still
beyond
Malcolm McDowell.
terrible, except for McDowell.
Yeah, I mean, I liked
Mhm.
Malcolm McDowell, but he still wasn't, Donald Pleasance. Donald Pleasance is
Yeah.
Sam Loomis.
Well, look, man.
Rob
What are you gonna
Zombie's
do with Donald
amazing
Pleasance?
too, but I just could not sink my teeth into his Halloween movies. I just couldn't. I tried. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
first one
that's
was a
cool.
neat movie about a serial killer. It wasn't really a Halloween movie. And then the second movie was, I don't know what the heck that was with that white horse and all the madness.
I never saw
Michael
the second
Myers
one.
didn't even wear his mask for most of the movie, and he talks. What is this?
As I said before, Malcolm McDowell is the best part of any of that movie.
I agree. I agree.
He lifted it
Yeah.
by
His
a
performance was good.
percentage.
It's the only good. I just keep saying that because it's really the only good thing I can say about them movies.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I can
yeah.
come up with better. Like they're better than Halloween Resurrection, which is the
You know, I'm
found
gonna have
footage Halloween
any.
movie.
I'm gonna have a problem with anything that says Halloween that don't got Jamie Lee Curtis in it.
Fair.
She's great.
She is technically in the third one, so that counts.
Mhm.
I want to say hi to a couple other people in the chat. Let's see people who've come in. Tom McCluskey came in. Gary Carpenter's here. Cheryl M. Snarky. Mike Silva. Who else? I mean, yeah, I think I got everybody. But if I missed anybody, sorry. I'm having a hard time.
I
keeping
came
up
in
with
the chat.
Well, yes, I know you're in the chat. I'm in the chat. Everybody's in the chat.
Chat here and a chat there. Here a
Well,
chat there.
I went to all the chats and said hi because love you guys. Love all your chats.
You're ubiquitous.
Well, no, it's because Geek was talking. I had a few minutes.
And like everybody in the chat seems to agree that If is great, and I've never seen it, so I guess
Oh, you
I have
got
to. Put
I've
it on
never
my
seen
list.
it either.
Yeah.
So, Geek,
Both of you.
let me know when you want to watch it backstage. I'll go watch it with you.
Throw it up on Discord or something.
Mhm.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I have a Discord server. I never use it. I think it's dead,
Dude,
but
I
have
deleted
it.
mine. I was
I got
like, I
Discord,
can't
but-
anymore with this.
I forgot my password and it was too much, so I deleted it.
Yeah, that
I
works.
live in a cave and I don't even know what a Discord is.
There you go.
It's probably for the
That's
best.
the pile when you're playing
Is that like
cards
the
and the
TikTok
cards are no
thing
longer
they
in
talk
play.
about on TV?
No.
It's the Discord pile.
I hear they let them TikTok again. They said it's on the news.
On the
I don't know
clock,
nothing about
DJ,
that.
blow my speakers up tonight.
TikTok can I don't care. They deleted my profile for no reason. They just go around deleting profiles, and I'm like, why? Whatever. So I don't
Because
TikTok.
they're evil.
Right? They're like writers of today. They want to make a good movie, but they don't.
There's no money in good movies. You make a movie about a singer who looks like an ape, and it bombs catastrophically. And I'm like, when did this ever look like a good idea for a movie?
Right?
Whose bright idea was this? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for crazy concepts. I mean, what they think they were being Kafka-esque? But no, it's just a terrible idea. I should get off the soapbox now.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Silva brings up something, and I hate to digress, but I have to talk about this. The Section 31 movie that just came out.
Oh.
It looks really, really bad to the point that I don't even want to watch it. And everything I've heard about it, is it doesn't even understand what Section 31 is in Star Trek. Like, as much as I love the actress who plays Giorgio, I can't remember her name. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, whatever.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's amazing, and I love her, and I even like her as
Now?
Giorgio in Discovery, even though I'm not a big fan of Discovery.
Discovery's awful. I
But
said it.
I can't. I can't bring myself to watch it. It looks so bad, and reviews are beyond terrible. I mean, even IGN gave it a 2, and IGN gives everything 7s and 8s.
Okay, so I saw your post on Facebook, and I just went, I can't watch the preview because Geek just said, my eyes are bleeding. I am traumatized. I cannot with this ever. I mean, he's up there. He's just like, ah! And I'm like, I feel your pain. I just saw that. And I went, whoa. I mean, after Discovery, after Picard, I'm like, I'm afraid.
I mean,
So there you
I
go.
try to defend New Trek from people who just reflexively hate it, but Discovery's
I
not
watched
great.
it. No,
Brave
it's
New
awful.
Worlds is pretty awesome. It's probably the best Star Trek since.
I haven't got to see any of
Deep
that yet.
Space
I have
Nine.
no opinion. But Picard was awful.
How the lower decks truck into crap.
I liked the
Star
third
Trek.
season of Picard. The first 2 seasons were.
Well, I saw the first one and went, I can't with this. I mean, everybody died for no reason. There's like this MacGuffin of like the sonic screwdriver now. This engineering tool fixes everything. I'm like, wow, magic. Great. Doctor Who's now here. This is.
I hated that the first season it was like androids are evil now, and I'm like, really? We're going
Yeah,
that
so we're
cliche with Star
backwards.
Trek?
I mean, then we have Measure of a Man. Measure of a Man, everyone. Good episode. And now it's like, well, we can't. That didn't happen.
But I will say the third season is pretty good. The third season is basically just the 8th season of Next Generation.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip that too. That just sounds old. I mean, you
They
saw
are
how
old.
Enterprise ended, right? They just went to a
Yeah.
holodeck for TNG, and I was like, oh, okay, tolerable-ish. Then they lost me after everything else. I mean,
I might be a little bit behind on things because I've only seen the first 2 episodes of the first season of Picard, and I'm going to get around to the rest of it when I have time. But I will
Just
watch
brace
it one
yourself.
day.
It's not great.
listen, you don't have to make that kind of time. Life is short.
I got so much other stuff I need to watch first.
Yeah, like better stuff, like lots of better stuff.
But yeah, I draw the line at Section 31. I can't even bring myself to watch it. Even though it's just a movie and not a TV show, I still can't. I just can't.
Well,
As
listen,
huge of a fan of Deep Space Nine as I am, and as much as I love how they treated Section 31 and seeing how New Trek interprets Section 31, it's just I don't want
it's
to
like
watch
they
an hour
didn't
and a half
watch it
that
at all. They didn't watch any of it.
mad.
It's like
I don't want
There
to
you go.
watch something just to be mad at it. You know, I'm not a hate watcher.
I don't hate watch either, but I'm gonna make fun of it anyways.
So anyway, sorry, I had to digress. I had to address it because it's been on my mind.
Yeah, I saw the post. I understand. Here's a hug.
Yeah.
Look away. If you don't like it, look away.
Anyway, Dan,
Yeah.
tell us a story.
You want a nice story or an R-rated? Well, no, I'm just kidding. See, that's the problem. When I need these good stuff, I have to keep a lasso on my tongue because some stories I just can't share here.
Yeah.
Right?
Just, different crowds.
I can put up a parental advisor.
And then you gotta figure out just how to word that story where it don't come out making it look too horrible.
Right, yeah.
In my younger days, I wasn't quite as settled down. I like to drink a little bit, and
You? No.
As opposed to what?
it was one of them days that I had been drinking and partying a little bit. That somebody had invited me to go to the movies when I'd been drinking, partying a little bit, which is never a good idea. So we went to the theater to see a movie that had just come out.
Oh, pardon me.
Now, we sat in the parking lot 45 minutes waiting on our movie start time, and we were drinking mixed drinks and smoking things. Not sure what things, but some things.
We're
cigarettes,
smoking some fish. Yeah.
Marlboros, and they're really cool filterless.
Gouda.
You know the ones without the filter. What do they call them? Pall Malls, maybe.
Oh, Miles.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's the
But
camels
we
with
sit
the
out for
filter.
45 minutes drinking and partaking in life in the parking lot. So by the time we went into the theater, I have to say that I was pretty well in a party like it's 1999 state of mind. When we went in
Ah.
and and everything was going good. We sat down and got the popcorns and stuff and started watching the movie. Snuck in a little bottle, mixed us up a drink in the theater because we were young and stupid. And we were sitting there watching this movie called Predator. And it's the first time I've seen Predator ever. And it starts out great. And they get on the helicopter, drink. They fly towards the jungle, drink. They landed in the jungle, drink. They're in the jungle, finding bodies hanging from trees, drink. And then, all of a sudden, the Predator shows up. And this is like my worst theater experience. Because they showed that thing where you look through the Predator's eyes and everything changes. when you had been partaking in the stuff I had been partaking in all day long, celebrating your birthday week or something, and you were really there, and all of a sudden everything goes into Predator view, it can have a bad effect.
I can see that. Yeah.
It was like an acid trip. It was like getting hit in the face with a baseball bat. It blew my mind. It freaked me out. And it freaked me out so bad I started coughing, which induced.
Once you start.
I'm sitting on the back row of the theater drinking and partying. So I want you to think how all these people in front of me felt as this induced projectile vomiting.
Oh man!
As I sprayed the first 4 rows in front of me, like Reagan in The Exorcist.
I was about to say
Sounds
that
about right.
about the ambiance of the theater.
Wait, is Bond frozen? Oh no, okay.
I don't remember nothing after the projectile vomiting because all I remember is bright lights and flashlights hitting me in the face and dragging me from the theater.
No doubt.
And it was like a year later when I rented the VHS and got to see it at home that I finally got to see the rest of Predator.
Mm.
But,
Awesome.
by the way, in my whole life, I've seen thousands of movies and been to the theater 10,000 times since. Never once since have I been to the theater drinking any kind of alcohol.
It reminds me of that story that Chunk told in The Goonies, where he's just like, and then I, Ralph, and then everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did have some effects on some other people. I ruined the theater experience for 50 people that day.
I would imagine. Yeah, I would be one of them. I'd be like, oh.
Are you kidding? That's I'd be
in my
rooting you on, Dan.
It was the 80s, man.
Right.
I'm like, go, Dan, go.
It's funny. I too have smuggled things into the theater, of course. One of the things that's great about me is like if you go into like a theater, right? Most of them don't search up here; they just search your bags and that kind of thing.
Sorry,
anyways, so I had a bottle like this big, right? Of what is it? Bailey's, mint Bailey's, right? Anyway, so I smuggled it in. Anyways, it was a great movie. I don't know what movie we saw. I think it
Bailey's
was
is pretty great. So yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was awesome. Anyway, so I went with one of my mom's friends.
Uh-oh.
She went to school with. Anyway, so we went to the movies. I smuggled that in. Anyways, it was good. It was a good movie. And we saw the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's on that island, or I don't know.
Oh, that movie.
Murdered everyone.
The Beach. Or no,
whatever.
More recent than that. The one Martin Scorsese movie. Yeah.
I have no idea. Anyways, he murdered his family. Whatever.
Shutter Island. That's
there you go.
You just spoiled it for everyone.
Yeah, that movie. Anyways, not Peppermint Schnapps. Don't do that. Okay, no. Bailey's.
I don't like Martin Scorsese. So
Well, anyways, Bailey's made it better. Okay, just Bailey's on that one. I recommend Bailey's. You can drink out of a shoe if you want. It doesn't really matter. Just Bailey's, okay?
Okay.
Bailey's.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean,
from
Bailey's
a-
is pretty great. It's not
It
good
is
for
good.
diabetes, but it's
No.
pretty great.
well, it makes certain movies
Tastes
better.
awfully good.
Right.
Tom McCluskey's here checking on the statute of limitations. They're gonna come for you, Tom. We always, every single time we go to the movies, we stop at Dollar Tree first just to grab the candy because we're not paying what $7.50 for a thing
Box
of
of-
jelly beans. What the hell is that?
Like, you only get like 2 Swedish fish at the theater.
I know.
It's all $12.
You get like 3 times as much from the Dollar Tree for $1. You know.
If certain people before you go to the theater, that's the
$1.25 now, yeah.
California thing. Because I've been at theaters thousands of times and I've never been searched and I've never seen them. I wore a backpack at a theater and it got searched.
I got searched once, and it was during COVID. That's why they were searching.
Stephen Wright actually had a great line about
Wait a
going
minute.
to the cinema.
We're
And he's
smuggling
like,
in COVID.
His
Go ahead.
bit is that he was thrown out of the theater for bringing his own food, and he goes, in my defense, the concession prices were so very, very high, and besides, it had been some time since I had a barbecue. 3, 2, 1. He had pulled out a hibachi during the cinema.
Oh, no,
It
you
was
did
funny
not
that he
do
said
that.
I got it. I thought it was funny.
I did too, after just a minute.
Spare me your pity laughs.
Don't worry, I won't give you one because I don't get
Okay, we'll give you crickets, okay, if that makes you happy.
it. Violence too. Mm.
Okay, it's punishment for
My
that.
mom-
Trash.
My mom would always smuggle in. She had this giant purse, and she would always smuggle in like little bags of potato chips and Subway sandwiches.
Right?
I saw once this family that like had somehow smuggled in an entire family pack of like KFC fried chicken, like
Oh,
the entire
God.
bucket.
Are you
Like
done?
the woman had put it under her shirt like she was pregnant. You know, it was
Oh my
beautiful.
God.
You gotta be smart with that. You can't have
And
the sides like cream potatoes. You gotta have the corn on the cob or something.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta
But
You gotta put the chicken in them Ziploc bags.
there you go. The problem was it smelled so freaking good in that entire theater. Like we all wanted it.
Well, anyways, so I gotta tell you how wonderful things are. Anyways, moving on.
Okay, Thrash, it's your turn. Tell us a story.
Oh, I've forgotten all of my memories.
Okay, let's try again.
Yeah.
Have you turned it off and turned it back on again?
I
don't
blew.
know. So, I apologize. I have this situation where I tend to tell anecdotes over and over and over again for 2 reasons. One, because sometimes they're applicable, so they deserve to be retold. Other times, I'm in early onset dementia, and I forget who I've told the stories to. So I tell them over and over and over again. People are just going to go, huh. So anyway, if you've heard the story before, please just going to go, huh. But I'm going to go with one of my favorite memories, and this one goes back a solid 40 years. It was a Halloween night, and it was actually on a school night this year. But because it was a holiday, I had gotten special permission to go over to my girlfriend's earlier that evening. I had to be home early, but I could still see her for Halloween, which is all we really wanted. So I come home, and as something of a surprise, my 2 best friends had decided to come over and were waiting for me. And I'm like, oh, guys, great, good to see you. Then they go, Bob, come on, get in. And I go, what? And they go, there's this crazy old horror movie we're watching, and you got to watch it with us. And I go, old horror movie? Okay, I'm game. I've always loved old horror movies. And it was a little-known independent horror film called Night of the Living Dead.
Great
And
movie.
I fell in love with this movie. First of all, it spoke to me. I mean, we used to run around with an 8mm camera making like these like crazy little mini films with no production value. And we always dreamed of getting older and making movies with somewhat better production value, but still low production. And it spoke to me like you can make an excellent movie and not necessarily have to have the huge, gigantic Hollywood budget. Plus, it was just so well put together, and it created a love of zombie lore, which I have to this day. One of the first films I bought, which is something else that was big back in the 80s, was VHS home theater. One of the first movies I bought was a videotape of Night of the Living Dead, which I still have. It was only like $9.99. And I'm sure you guys all know the story. Nowadays, copyright ownership is implied with the making of any film. Back then, you had to register it. And George Romero never registered it. So it went to the public domain. He lost billions. But the good news was I got to have a really cheap copy, which, again, I still have. And I have about 6 or 7 copies on DVD because always in compilations and stuff. So my first screening of Night of the Living Dead on that fateful Halloween in, I want to say, 1985 stays with me to this day. Oh, and guys, Sean and Tom, you guys made the movie what it was.
Cool.
Right on, Sean and
That's
Tom.
great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, Pons loves you. That's a blessing. Wow.
I probably saw Night of the Living Dead when I was 7 years old because it was on Shock Theater. Every Sunday afternoon, they had a show called Shock Theater, and they'd show these old movies like The Giant Praying Mantis or that.
Back of the Crab Monster. Or...
Yeah, stuff like
Barbara.
that really cheesy one with
Get you,
giant
Barbara.
lizards, Night of the Iguana or whatever. And there's one about these giant freaking rabbits called Night of the Lippers that always
Leapers.
mess with me.
Yep. That's a
That must be
one.
Chance's favorite
Giant
movie.
killer
I was
rabbits.
about to
You'll
say
have
that.
believe on me one day.
DeForest Kelly is in it, and he's bored out of his freaking mind. You could tell. He's like,
Yeah, he
that
looked like
was
he
such a
wanted to beam up
paycheck.
about halfway through the
It's
movie.
no ordinary rabbit.
Silly rabbit tricks are for kids.
And then before Skilly
The whole
sees a
movie
rabbit in
based
Star
on-
Trek.
The jackrabbit outbreak in Australia, when the jackrabbit was an invasive species and it just kind of went crazy in Australia. Isn't there some connection there? Anyone help?
I mean, I
Listen,
know Australia
Australia's
has
not
a
real,
big
so don't
problem
worry
with
about it.
invasive species, but I don't remember hearing anything about a rabbit. I mean, I know about the cane toad.
Well, yeah, we know about how they had the Great War of the Emus and they lost.
I would make a joke
Kangaroos
and
went
tell you
crazy.
something if it wasn't so funny, but it's true and it kind of is bad. But you know how Australia's solved their rabbit problem, don't you?
No.
No.
Does anybody know?
I didn't know they had one to begin with.
All
so
these
it's news
rabbits
to me.
were running amok and eating them out of farms and stuff, and they didn't know what to do with them. So they rounded them up and made fur coats out of the cute little bunnies and packaged all the meat up, broke beef on it, and sold it to China.
Huh.
Swear to God, look it up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, I've heard of rabbit,
Hassenpfeffer.
Yeah, I've eaten rabbit once before. I don't want to eat it anymore. It's too dry for me.
Yeah, it's dry and stringy. It's not very
Yeah,
good.
I don't care about the stringy part. It's dry.
A matter of fact, just recently, Australia got in trouble again for selling China kangaroo meat and calling it beef.
No, I've eaten kangaroo meat. It just tastes like beef. It's
Just
depressing.
saying, yeah.
I wouldn't try to mess with a kangaroo to
Tastes
get
like
it.
something, how to flavor it.
Seems like scary.
You can take deer meat and throw a couple of beef bouillon cubes in when you're cooking it, and it'll taste just like hamburger. Any beef can be made to taste like any other animal.
We get a lot of like deer jerky here, Midwest. So like, and it does taste a lot like beef jerky.
Are you
It's
kidding?
basically-
I love deer.
Somebody offers me some deer meat every week. Here, you want?
Oh yeah, it's constant.
I really think, man, you're eating Bigfoot jerky. I think that's really what you're eating over there.
I eat deer meat once in a while, but I'm not real fond of it because it's a little too gamey for me.
They
Oh,
have
I
a
love
thing
gamey
called-
meat. Gamier
Yeah,
the
but-
better.
I'm sorry. They got a thing called gator jerky here, and I still have not tried that.
Gators,
I
okay.
mean,
It's
what- I
chewy.
mean, it is.
Yeah, it's
Does it
very
taste like
chewy.
chicken, as everybody says?
It's still it basically tastes like chewy chicken. It's like, yeah.
I have not had the guts to try it.
You gotta just have like fried gator tail, gator jerky.
Or
You
frog legs. I
It's
think
gonna make
about
your like
Kermit.
Frog
jaw.
is awesome. I like meat. Anyways, movies. Mm.
Ah.
So, Tug, I believe you're up next.
Oh wow, it's my turn again. Okay.
Only 1 hour, and you know.
Mm.
Let's see. Let me tell a story about. Okay, my brother and I, when I was about 19, 20, yeah, we used to just go to the movies and just watch whatever was available. Like we would just like whatever's starting in the next 10 minutes, we'll go watch it, no matter what it is. Even if it's like a really terrible chick flick romantic comedy, we're still gonna go watch it. Just to
You're brave.
because it was fun. We saw Train Spotting that way. Like we had no idea what Train Spotting was. We'd never heard of it. We'd never seen Ewan McGregor before. And we went to go see this movie. Train Spotting. What is that about? A movie about trains? Okay. So we walk in, and within the first 10 minutes, you've got Ewan McGregor diving into a toilet bowl in order to pick up his suppositories that have been lost. Yeah, we knew we were in for a ride. Anyway, the Academy Awards, I think it was like a year or two later, we decided we were going to go see every single movie that was nominated for Best Picture. Something that I still try to do these days, but I don't really care about the Academy Awards as much as I used to, because they kind of suck now.
Kind of what they always have, right?
So that year it was 1997. We saw Titanic. Of course, we'd already seen Titanic because Titanic was a phenomenon. We saw As Good as It, because we had a movie theater nearby that every year they would show the Best Picture nominations at the end of the year. So we watched Titanic, we watched As Good as It Gets, we watched Good Will Hunting, and LA Confidential, which is still one of my favorite movies. I think I've talked about it on the stream before. But then we saw The Full Monty, another movie we had no idea what it was. And we thought, okay, it's a nominated for Best Picture. It's going to be an Oscar movie. It's another Oscar bait movie, whatever. That, if you know what The Full Monty is, it's not. It's one of those movies that, like, why did this get nominated for an Academy Award? This is a comedy about middle-aged British men who decide to become strippers. It's a great movie, and I love it because it's so off the wall and funny. But why was this nominated for an Academy Award? I have no idea. It's kind of like Marissa Tomei in My Cousin Vinny. Yeah, she get an Academy Award for that. Like, it's funny. I like My Cousin Vinny and all, but what? It doesn't make sense.
Hey, man, I have absolutely no clue, nothing about this movie you're talking about.
I've never heard of The Full.
I don't even think I've ever saw a trailer for it.
Yeah,
I've heard the name.
Of the Academy Award nominations,
everything.
it was the least like advertised. It was like nobody knew what it was at the time until it got nominated. It just came out of nowhere. I don't know. So yeah, that was probably my favorite experience doing that. And ever since then, it's just been diminishing returns with Academy Award nominations, to the point where, like I said, these days I don't really try very hard. I'll watch maybe one or two, and then, because usually it's just like the Oscar bait is so painfully obvious these days, and they're not even trying to make good movies. It's like they're trying to check boxes. It's not even interesting anymore.
Right?
On that, I don't even
Good movies.
The last one I liked was Everything Everywhere All at Once. I thought that was a great movie. I didn't expect it to win anything, but it won, and it was great. Everything else has been pretty awful and forgettable. Like, do you even remember the movie that won the Academy Award for Best Picture last year? I don't. Couldn't tell you.
I was unaware they still did Academy Awards.
About 10 years ago. I don't even care what they think.
Pretty much.
The Academy Award list was a list of movies you probably don't want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
On
Like
this
the
channel, I talk about a lot of older movies, and I talk about their Academy Award status because in the old days, I actually think the prestige of the Academy Awards meant something. Nowadays, I don't think it means anything. It's just self-filleting Hollywood.
Honestly, the last time I watched the Academy Awards, I think maybe some like earthquake or something won an award.
Oh, well. That was
Some earthquake?
before I was even alive. That was like 1976, 77, somewhere in there.
One of them disaster
Hey, hey,
movies
hey.
won an award, and I got mad about it. I was like, watching this stuff no more.
I remember one year I was like 10. I want to say maybe 10 or 11. I forget. But Star Wars was one of the nominations.
Sorry.
Close Encounters, and the other one that was a big runner was Annie Hall. And I didn't even know what Annie Hall was at the time. But I
Right.
go, well, the odds are 2 out of 3. It'll be one of these great science fiction movies. And and I was so monumentally disappointed, unconsolable. And I'm like, and I've talked about this on several occasions. Why is it the Academy is so dead set against ever, and I mean ever, giving an Academy Award to a science fiction film? Horror's won a couple of times. Horror is disappointingly low, but there have been horror films that have won. They have never, ever, ever given it to a sci-fi movie, and I find that elitist.
Even to this day,
Cutterbunk.
Hey,
I mean,
I
you,
didn't-
you had Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was
I
a
didn't-
big sci-fi
I-
movie.
Oh,
But that was
was it?
kind of like the token sci-fi winner of the last 100 years of the Academy.
I apologize. I checked out. I didn't know what had won. So you know what? Go me.
You should watch it. It's actually really good. It's a lot of fun. It's Michelle Yeoh again, like I was talking about with Section 31.
Crash, I have a question for you.
Oh,
I
please,
mean,
anything.
is that up to this date? They still have not given a science fiction.
Oh, actually, no. Tug has just said you can qualify everything all at once as science fiction.
Oh.
I haven't seen
Oh,
it, so
okay.
I can't speak
Oh,
to
it's
that.
definitely science fiction. There's no
Okay.
doubt about it.
So,
I just
all
wanted
right.
that. Thanks.
Then I rescind my soapbox.
But no, you're right. There is
That's my soapbox.
genre snobbery all over Hollywood. And it's not just Hollywood. The publishing industry is the same way.
I know. Look at The Room couldn't even get nominated. It's crazy.
Like if you want to have the prestige of literary critics, you have to write literary fiction. And what is literary fiction? Literary fiction is something that sounds really what's the word I'm looking for?
Prestigious.
Prestigious, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Pretentious. Pretentious.
Ah,
is the word I'm looking
pretentious.
for.
I had another word in mind.
I did too, but I couldn't say that one.
Well, yeah,
Save
because
those
Hollywood
words
has
for
to go through the
Thursday.
important work. I mean, how could Forrest Gump beat Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
There is
Listen,
no
Shakespeare in Love
justice.
beat Saving
Listen,
Private Ryan.
Roxy Chocolates, poo.
Annie Hall beat Star Wars. You know?
Annie Hall is a better movie than Star Wars. With my graying hair, with my more mature years, I can look back and objectively say Star Wars is not as good a movie as Annie Hall, but it burned my tuchus when I was 10. Let me tell you.
Really, man, I honestly can say at my age now, I know what Annie Hall is. And one day I will get around to watching that.
I watched it in film school.
I saw the trailer and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
I knew that was something I really had no desire to sit through.
You went to film school?
I mean, if you want to watch Christopher Walken doing coke, I mean, you can just go to Christopher Walken's house. You don't need to watch Annie Hall.
Right? Christopher Walken is awesome, though. Did you?
He's the
tell
best
me-
thing about Annie Hall. Like he has one scene
Well-
really, and he's my favorite part of the movie.
Well,
Like,
he's just the best
movie,
thing
I'm
about a lot
super-
of things. Like, the time we read Hansel and Gretel, I actually like that story now.
Jeff Goldblum is in Annie Hall as well.
Yes, that's true. That was Jeff Goldblum's
So
first
Walken
big
was like
feature
the
film.
best on the boat,
forgot
when
about
Natalie Wood dropped.
Yeah, Chance was
Ooh.
talking about that last
Ooh,
night.
Trace
Yeah,
Back
yeah,
in
yeah.
Dark. Ooh.
If you want to
Yeah.
hear more about that, check out my video on Brainstorm.
If you want to know
All
more,
right.
I've actually been to Catalina.
Yeah.
I want Christopher Walken, who is a song and dance man, I want Christopher Walken to do a cover of These Boots Are Made for Walking.
Oh God,
Of course.
These bits are making Christopher Walken.
I
And
can
he's just
see
walking his
Shatner
boots.
doing it.
These boots right here, to which I am wearing, will, in the not too distant future, be moving in a manner perpendicular to yourself. And that's the best I could do on such short notice.
Hey, look, I can see Shatner doing that. He's
Christopher
boots.
Walken, everyone.
Walking.
Indy raises a theory. He says the critics feel they must constantly prove they know more than others, but they haven't the first clue about science or its application in fiction,
IBK.
which is why they marginalize it. I mean, yeah, fair.
Well
enough.
stated, Indy. But of course, you know what Brian Aldiss wrote? He said science fiction is no more for scientists than ghost stories are written for ghosts.
Right.
Hmm.
Hey, BK. Like even Isaac Asimov said, "Look, if you're a scientist, don't read my fiction. Read my nonfiction. If you're not a scientist, read my fiction. Don't read my nonfiction." You know, like so. And Asimov, he was a legit scientist. Like he knew his stuff.
If he was really smart, he'd have said, "Read all my stuff."
Well, yeah, he was Isaac Asimov. He didn't have to. Everybody was already doing that.
You know, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a master at science, and he reads science fiction all the time.
Yeah,
You know,
but
it's an escapism. It's a, you know, you don't have to. I mean, and this is the man who actually required James Cameron to change the skyline in Titanic because the stars weren't at the position they actually would be at that time of year when that film was made.
Nerd.
That's the next level nitpick. Yeah,
it really is. I told Dr. Tyson once. I was on one of his blogs, and I said, you know, Orion is the coolest constellation in our galaxy. You know what he said?
Uh-oh.
Bitch, Pleiades.
yeah.
Oh.
I was waiting. I'd heard it before.
I know I've been saying that for months. It's my new favorite joke, even though I wrote it.
Sounds like one of
Especially
Corey's
because I
jokes.
wrote it.
Did you
Bob's
say
original.
that, Corey?
Bitch, Pleiades. I just said it again.
But yes, Indy, you're right. A lot of the best sci-fi authors are scientists. I mean, two of my absolute favorite are Arthur C. Clarke and Isaac Asimov, and they're both scientists. So. But I also really like Robert Heinlein. He was not a scientist. So, and of course, I like myself, and I'm not a scientist.
Robbie K.
It's a bit like Brian May of Queen. He's a scientist and a rock and roller.
That's true. Or like Dolph
And like-
Lundgren, he's got a PhD in economics or something.
Jesus.
And I find if
Peter Weller has a
I
degree in
find that if
history.
you read enough R.L. Stein books to children, eventually you'll start liking him too.
No, that's not a possibility. I've lived my whole
That's
life.
just
and that
Stockholm
was like,
syndrome, Danny.
yeah, I've lived my whole life when he was like around, and I have not. So I think I'm okay. I just-
Oh,
Hello, Mike Harper.
little update, guys. I don't have my cord with me, and my battery is about to die, so it looks like I'm going to be checking out very, very soon. So rather than just pull the plug, I want to say, guys, it has been so much fun hanging with all of you today. Tug, thank you for letting me pop in last minute,
No problem.
and I'll see you guys all tonight at 7.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll be there.
Awesome.
Definitely.
charge your stuff.
I will charge my
Make
stuff.
sure everything's charged.
Yeah,
Bye,
bye bye.
Crash.
Now he didn't freeze.
We hardly saw you. He didn't freeze. I think this might be the first time he's gone the entire thing
No.
without freezing, but only
No,
because he
he's
left
gone-
early.
Yeah, there you go. When he said the whole time he didn't freeze, does not count. Obviously.
Might have had something to do with his different device he was on.
Yeah, he was. Like his computer was glitching out on him.
I tell
so
him all the
he switched
time,
over to his
use your laptop.
That's what I use. I mean, I want to get an actual tower one of these days just for my editing, but my laptop is perfect for streaming. It works great.
Look, I am looking at small goals. I'd like to get a phone that's not taped together.
I mean,
I'm
that
gonna
is
start
progress. Yeah.
Then I'll work my way to the rest.
Okay, Indy, fine. He was an aeronautical engineer. That is still a scientific field. Granted.
Okay.
Anyway, I forgot whose turn it was. Is it your turn, Sarah? Did you
Yeah,
go?
it would be my turn.
Okay.
Well, Sarah's
Alright.
going. I'm going to turn my camera off, refill my cup.
Go for it.
Okay.
Mm,
He doesn't want to
Alright.
hear you anymore.
I know. He'll have to hear me again later tonight too, so poor guy.
He's got to pace himself.
Yes, everybody must pace themselves with me. That's true.
Just because I'm going to fill up a cup don't mean I'm not taking you guys with me.
Oh, I know. You can hear us.
we can also hear you if you go to the bathroom too.
You know, he did enough. We're good.
Poor dad.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's a movie going experience. I kind of got a couple of going to the theaters that were interesting. Okay, brief one. I've been to the Chinese Band Theater, whatever it's called. Right now, I've been there, and I saw a movie Okay. Now, if I tell you what movie it was, you're going to be like, you went to a really cool theater and you saw that, and you guys would be disappointed in
Bye,
me.
Tom.
I am sorry about it. Okay. See ya. Oh, okay. So what it was is we saw Han Solo there. Do you know Solo? Did we? Oh man. Anyways, the seats are reclined, so I fell asleep. It was a good decision on that part. There you go. Now, the best time I ever had a theater experience ever in my life. Okay. Out here in Temecula, I was in my 20s, right? And Star Trek, the last one, whatever movie
Nemesis.
it was, thank you, Nemesis was coming out, right? Now, I had a bunch of friends that worked at the theater, so I got it for free all the time. I got to go see all the midnight screenings with the employees. I got all those privileges, right?
Awesome.
So by doing that, the head manager liked me. He thought I was a lot of fun. I know, crazy, right? Anyways. So he pulled me aside one day when I was at the theater hanging out, because of course, and he's like, "Hey, I asked my friend Liz, right? I asked your friend Liz, right? You said Liz, if this was a good idea. She said you would totally be down for it. So let me tell you, he wanted me to come work for the theater for the premiere of the movie, right? Directing everybody to the theaters, any questions need answering, especially about Star Trek, right? By that, I got to see the movie the night before the premiere with the
Right.
stuff, free everything, right? So popcorn, candy, everything, I got it all, right? And so he wanted me to wear my Star Trek uniform, bring a little bit of props with me. Of course, I have phasers, right? Anyway, so I wore my uniform and my boots and everything. I mean, I was dicked out, right? I had all the answers, everything they needed. I already saw the movie twice. Anyways, so I was ready to go. I knew the theaters. I could answer everybody's questions, of course.
You were shouting "Data dies in the end" the whole time. Yeah.
There was this one older couple who came up to me and was like, "Okay, look, we're gonna go watch this movie. We want to know who dies at the end." And I was like, "You want me to spoil it?"
The bad
And they were like,
The bad guy.
"Yeah, go for it." And I was like, "Okay." So I just told them the whole thing. They're like, "Dang it!" And then they walked off to the theater, and I was like, "Well, okay." So yeah, so he didn't pay me in cash, right? So I got free concession for like a week. You know, it didn't be just like a full week, even if I wasn't there. It was like a week of when I was there, right? So I got that. Then I got an insane amount of free vouchers for movies that I handed out for Christmas and stuff, right? Saved my butt. Everybody got 2 free movies, and then I got plenty of free
Nice.
movies myself. Yeah, it was awesome for one day's work, right? And I was like, I'm down for this. It was awesome. One of the best movie experiences of my life. Something I got to see it before time. Something I knew all about. Answered all the questions, did everything right. Anyways, that was one of my favorite movie experiences.
That's awesome. That sounds
cool.
great. Yeah, and I like Star Trek Nemesis, personally.
Right? Right? And then he saw Picard, and they're like just destroying the memory of that. I'm like, why? Why?
And that was the first time I saw Tom Hardy, and he was like as the clone Picard. He was great. I liked it.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
Great villain.
he's the Echo. He's like, I'll be the voice over the Echo long after you pass, or whatever. I'm like, great lines.
Yeah.
Might have used him in a song since then.
That's one of those movies that gets a lot of flack, and I don't quite understand why, because I really like it, and I really like the space battle. I think it's really epic.
Well, yeah, it's got a lot of good in it. It does. It's pretty awesome. I mean,
it's not as generic as Insurrection. Like Insurrection, I don't hate it, but it feels like an episode. It doesn't feel like a movie.
Yeah, well, Insurrection is supposed to be like their modern day take on like Star Trek 4, which was an awesome movie.
Yeah.
And then I saw that one. I'm like, well, I mean, you had some jokes. I think Worf was like turning into a teenager, and Data wants to talk about his firm boobs now. That was funny.
I never will forget that word. Gorge.
Gorge, yeah.
Gorge.
It's barely noticeable. It's like this giant. I mean, it could have been a goiter on his neck, and it could have said it was goich.
I tell people, hey man, are you Klingon? Because that looks like a gorge on your face. I've told people that. I swear to God, I have.
Oh my God.
Hey, real quick, I want to say in chat, we got Al Harding there in chat. It's one of Chance's BFFs in real life. So, hi, Al. Good to see you.
Yeah, Jet sent me some really cool pictures today, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're awesome.
Well, I got to read this one from Indy because he says, that reminds me about that time I went to the theater and some crazy lady dressed in Star Trek stuff kept pestering me.
Were you in Temecula? Sorry. Yeah. Anyways,
I'm
yeah.
limited to where I can go because I'm having some internet reception areas. I can't go no further than where you saw me in the yard a while ago.
Yeah.
That way I can go. It's weird. I can go that way further than I can go that way. I can't sit
Interesting.
in my office with my cool background, but I can sit outside or I can sit in the living room and I'm good. That's weird. It's never done that before.
Yeah, I swear sometimes getting a good Wi-Fi signal is like some kind of arcane magic, you know?
Yeah.
I'm figuring it's the time of the day. It's Sunday afternoon and everybody's home and our signal strength in the area is probably down, I guess.
A few days ago, I said I wasn't connected to the internet when I was clearly connected to the internet, so I couldn't use a bunch of apps, even though I could clearly watch YouTube. So I was connected to the internet.
I'm still
Anyways.
using my phone for internet because my internet service provider just
I'm using my
sucks
phone
so
today
bad.
because my husband's got a new modem today.
I'm using the actual regular internet because if I use the hotspot on my phone, it would probably just blow up.
Explode. Yeah, the tape's not going to hold it together anymore.
No, I mean, I can't even tape together the bottom part here, as you can see, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
I've had spiders fall out of me in the morning on here, and I'm like, why? You know, my lenses fell out. Every time I record with it, it's got this like weird blue halo across everything. I'm like, why? Is this a
Sarah,
thing?
I could see your iPhone being made of wood.
Dude, it's not even an iPhone. Right?
Danny's a huge Bigfoot guy, Charles. Definitely.
Mhm.
You can find me on Teddy Dan blog.
Yeah.
He's got some
But
Bigfoot
if you want to
videos
see
out
my
there.
the popular Bigfoot stuff, I have a channel called Project Cryptid, which hopefully one of the cool mods like Harper will drop that. I'll make Harper a mod so he can drop my links, man. He's like a little flunky sidekick. If I was Batman, he'd be Robin.
Well, he's got a branch on my side, so he can drop all the links he wants there. Everybody can on my side always.
Mm.
Even Dan's links to his 5 or no channels. I don't know. I think he has no channels really.
I don't promote all my channels all the time. It don't really do no good to promote some of them because nobody watches them anyway.
I do. I'm like that.
I got a couple channels for the one view I get, Sarah. That's a joke.
Poor people.
There'll be one view on it and one comment. That's Sarah, but you can count on her.
Look. If you're in my wheelhouse of people I support, sometimes that'll just happen. It'll just be like one comment there, and I'm there. And Chance said to me, he wish he had an army of Sarahs. I'm like,
Something else that's weird. When Sarah puts out a short, it won't let me leave a comment on it.
oh, I can't leave comments on most shorts. I can leave comments on your shorts, like UFO Man shorts, but any other shorts, I can't. I don't care whose short it is.
Leaving comments on his shorts.
YouTube has some weird.
On my other channel, I can't leave comments on my main channel.
I live in a weird world where technology hates me. It always has computers and just anything technological, cell phones. They all hate me. They never work right for me like they do for nobody else. I had this one cell phone, and no matter what I did, it wouldn't let me drop a link. And people kept telling me how to drop links, and it wouldn't let me do it. And I thought it was me. I thought it just hates me. But when I got a new phone, I could drop a link doing it the same way people told me. And I was like, oh, this phone will not let me drop a link. It's weird. And then I got this Charter Spectrum cable DVR thing going on. And every time I turn it on, there's this episode of the Wild Wild West from season 2, episode 22 or something, Night of the Gypsy Peril. Every time I delete this, it returns. It's probably on there now. You think I'm joking, but I'm not.
Oh,
No, I've experienced that before. I watched one episode of like what was it? Spencer for Hire, and for whatever reason it got stuck on like that one particular thing. So every time I went back to it, even after I way past another season, it would chronically send me right back to that one. every time. I'm like, why?
Yeah. And then on top of that, I get all excited. I'm watching the Wild Wild West. I watched they showed the second half of season 1. They didn't show the first few episodes. I was disappointed. But then they showed season 2, and I'm like, yeah. Then they started season 3, and they got up to the 5th episode in season 3, and these don't say that word on YouTube. Then they started over. I swear to God, it give me a micro stroke.
It's like Groundhog's Day. Happens over and over and over.
I was watching Chance's channel the other night, and he started showing this old Lindsay Wagner movie. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm watching it, and there's something familiar about it. And then I had this flash of a magic dress that travels you through time. And I asked Chance, I said, does this have a magic dress? He's like, yeah. And it just dawned on me that sometime in the past, this movie got recorded on a VHS tape at my house, and I'd actually seen it a couple of times back years and years ago. At one time, I actually had this movie recorded from TV on VHS. But I did remember it, and it was really a good movie, actually. Lindsay Wagner is really great.
Sorry, I'm distracted by chat. But yeah, Lindsay Wagner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. I got distracted by chat. It happens.
All in thought in my little cat story.
Mm.
How can YouTube reject a comment on my own channel?
Listen, I had a friend who got in trouble by YouTube for bullying, harassing himself. So there you go. I mean, I've seen it. I saw the
I was
email.
just telling Indy I meant to hit him over the head with the wrench, not give him a wrench. Apparently, YouTube doesn't like that. So YouTube's got your back, Indy.
I can't remember which comic book video it was, but it really made me angry. I put up a comic book review on the Daily Dan blog one day, and because I didn't have an extra video for the Fat Comic Book Guy channel I do about comic books,
Right.
I just later on, like a couple of days later, threw the same video up on the Fat Comic Book Guy channel. You know, stupid comic book review. Didn't even have a trailer in it, I don't think. And I swear to God, YouTube give me a copyright strike for showing my own video.
Oh my
on my
gosh.
other channel.
You have sinned against yourself.
Right. Well, I overlaid some music together that I made on Suno, and one track overlapped the other track just a little bit. Like, you can't really even hear it, right? And they said that they copyrighted it, and because it's somebody else's music down. I'm like, huh?
Like your own creative stuff and
Yeah, it just overlaps a little bit. Now somebody else's. How?
That's
Yeah, I'll tell you
crazy.
something else. Whatever you do, don't put nothing up to do with the Night Stalker TV series.
You get in trouble for
Consider
it.
that a personal curse.
Yeah.
And it's a
It
detective.
annoys me because I wanted to cover that before like
Mhm.
NBC Universal just like nixed all of my TV reviews.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
my
I mean, they
gosh.
were all very hardcore. I mean, you were words and showed things
How
and talked
dare
about
I
it.
get people interested in Quantum Leap? Ugh.
I know that show in itself is
It's so
amazing.
I'm
wild.
hard-headed.
Doesn't need your help,
That's
geek.
Sarah. I'm really hard-headed. For 3 years in a row, every Halloween, I have gotten a copyright strike for trying to show the Night Stalker on YouTube.
It's so annoying.
Yeah,
I
I've
can't
been
wait
there
till
too.
this Halloween coming. I'll be getting my 4th copyright strike for it. I think I'm going to get away with it this year, though. I've got a plan. I'm going to stop it every little bit and talk for a few minutes, then go back into it.
He's gonna put it
Well-
upside down. He's gonna make it turn into a tunnel. It's gonna be all crazy.
You got a
Good
plan.
editing
Good
just to
plan,
get it
man.
up.
Makes me glad I'm not monetized yet.
I've
Well,
been
it
getting
doesn't
like
matter.
copyright disputes
I
every
know.
single month from Universal. Like every month, they'll just pick another video that I've done in my back catalog and say, "This is a Universal movie. You can't monetize this video." And like, it's weird that it's happening like once a month. They're not like getting all of them at once, you know. Which is
Are you
it's
sure?
just-
Now, here's one for you. Are you sure it's Universal doing it?
Yes, it is actually Universal. I did double check, make sure it's not some weird Korean bot or something.
Like,
Yeah, it really is
else
Universal.
Stuff like
Yeah, yeah.
that goes on. People will target your channel and start to copywriting crap just to get
Mhm.
you.
Yeah, and normally when that happens, it's not. they won't just target like Universal movies. They'll basically target everything. But no, I did double check to make sure it really was NBC Universal that was coming after my channel. It seems like me doing that Quantum Leap review got their attention, and they've just been hounding my channel ever since. So
Jesus.
Well,
whatever. I'm just not going to cover the
Keep it
Universal
hardcore.
movies anymore. And then when I do, I'll just like cover it with the still images like I've been doing. So more
Well, you
more
could just-
content for my patrons and channel members.
But there you go. I was gonna say too, another thing you do is just use a bunch of GIF files because why not? You get movement there, right?
I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and I don't care who gets 8 cents for it.
I am so annoyed. Everybody tells me they always win when they file through with the disputes. Every time I do it, I lose. I've never.
I lose
won.
every time.
I
Every
have
time.
never ever won, and it pisses me off. And I've tried
Well,
various different
it's
languages. I've tried to be as
spicy,
lawyery as possible. I've tried not to be as lawyery as possible. It doesn't matter.
And you're a judge too. This is crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll tell
Exactly.
you what, it never helps when you start calling them names in an email.
Listen,
Listen, I've
all
actually
the colorful metaphors don't go over well.
right.
They don't never respond to me. I've tried to email them on the reply thing a couple of times, and they just don't never get back to me.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I can't even read or spell right, so I have no options. It's
Makes
just
me
you
mad
got
though
in
to
trouble. How dare you get them off?
See, it makes me mad to see that they target people, especially people I know.
Yeah, like if
Right?
they had all the videos at once, or if they did it when I first uploaded, it
Mhm.
would just be a bot, and I could live with that. I still wouldn't like it, but it wouldn't annoy me as much as there's somebody who is literally hounding my channel, and every month they go through it and find a video and dispute it. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, see, it's
Jealousy.
nothing too. It's weird too about those bots and stuff, right? Like I uploaded the Knight Rider theme song, right? I got in trouble, got blocked around the world, right? I'm like, okay. I've had multiple live streams where I played it, and no problem, no copyright, nothing. Everything's fine. Not blocked around the world.
The copyright bots treat regular videos and live videos differently. Like,
Oh, I've gotten in trouble for live.
you can still get in
videos.
trouble for live stuff.
Yeah,
Don't worry. Like, if
I
you-
played it live and it got in trouble for it, but up on my channel, it's fine. I'm like,
Unless
Weird.
can't win.
unless you're a guy named Dr. Woo, then you can play anything you want to, and nobody will know.
Right?
Yeah, the bigger your channel, the more you can get away with. That's just the way it works. Yeah.
Right, yeah, I don't know, man. I've
Yeah.
seen
If you
some
make
people up
YouTube
there-
money, they'll be nice to you.
I don't know. I've seen people make YouTube money. YouTube's just as awful to them. I'm like, well, yeah, but the content's good, and it's like, it doesn't full of lies. And YouTube doesn't like that either, and I'm like, whatever.
You
make
just
everything
dispute them in
opinion-based.
the comments, Indy. That's different. You're a fact checker.
Hold on, wait a minute. Ain't all the fact checkers going to unemployment line now?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Thanks, Mark.
No, they hang out on YouTube.
Anyway, I forgot whose turn it was.
It dance.
Dan, tell us another story.
Oh my God. Oh goodness.
Yeah, I'm
Another
jealous.
story.
I don't get spam
I
bots.
see, it's hard for me to
Everybody
come up
else
with stories I can actually tell on
I don't
the
get them
live.
anymore.
I got so many great stories. It's just I probably shouldn't share them on a live stream. I might be able to be charged for some of them still.
Yeah, I've got at least two stories I can think of that I can't tell on live stream. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, I've left out stories too.
Yeah.
Me three.
It's like last night, we were on a stream and they wanted us to tell true crime stories. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I have one that I could tell, but I might get in trouble.
Ah,
Yeah, most true crime stories are really kind of offensive.
Yeah, and like I didn't want to say anything too graphic or too gross because like I'm a true crime aficionado. I know lots of
too.
stuff, especially
Me
about
too.
crazy serial killers.
I don't know
My first thought was let's talk about H.H. Holmes. I'm like, no, let's not do that on a family.
see,
friendly-
that would be a really good topic.
Yeah.
swear to God, somewhere back there, I have got H.H. Holmes' graphic comic book detailing his crimes.
Awesome. That
No
sounds
doubt.
great. I want to see that. I love
I'll do a comic book on YouTube this year, probably.
Yeah, cool.
Wow.
Let me know because I'm into that.
I don't think they're gonna like it because they don't like some of the stuff I've done.
Well, Tug, now that I know that, I'm going to be sending you even more awesome things. You're welcome.
Great, thanks.
It's no your fault for the Nazi starfish.
He
Theater.
lived in a lot of places, and his name
When I was-
wasn't actually H.H. Holmes.
When I was a kid, there was a theater in Williamston, and we all called it the Rat Palace. It was this
Yeah.
old, dilapidated theater. They'd have the one new movie every couple of weeks, and every night at midnight, they'd have what they called the midnight show. And for $1 at midnight, you could go in for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and watch some old crappy movie from years gone by. That's where I saw that thing with two heads at, and it was the Blob. And they always have some old classic horror movie. It's a few of them I'd never seen, so it was a big thing. Go pay $1 and go watch a movie, especially in the summertime. There wasn't no school the next morning or nothing like that. You'd go over, pay $1 at midnight, watch a late night show, sleep late the next morning, summertime. And I remember I had to be like 13 the first time I ever went in and saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now that's one that shocked my fragile little mind, man. I swear to God, if you're a 13-year-old seeing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the first time on a big screen, like it was originally showed, it will leave an impression on you.
Yeah, I can't even imagine as an adult seeing that in the movie theater, especially like the last 20 or 30 minutes. Like that is so intense. I can't even imagine it.
Especially a big screen.
Yeah.
See it with a theater full of teenage girls at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my!
And it has a whole new line on when you go to the midnight matinees. I remember the first time I saw Rocky Horror there, you know. They started showing Rocky Horror like once every month or so, and people would come all dressed up weird. That's what
I love
Did you have people go to the stage and do the thing?
Yeah, it started getting real weird over there with them people, man. I quit going.
It started getting weird. It wasn't weird before. It just started.
Yeah,
People from
exactly.
Atlanta some of them people from Atlanta started showing up. They looked a little on
There's chances people showed up, huh?
Were they
The
wearing
poor
it?
I do remember that the night I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we went out to McDonald's afterward and got some hamburgers, and we was up to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I remember when I got home, I swear to God, I was up when the sun came up because I couldn't sleep. That's one of the few movies that shook me up as a young person. It really did.
All right.
I can see that.
And
Yeah.
that movie, the whole time I watch it, if I ever see that movie now, the only thing I want is that chick to quit screaming. I'm like, I never seen nobody scream for 45 minutes before.
I don't know, man. The guy in the wheelchair is pretty annoying.
He don't
What's his
last
name?
that long.
Franklin? Yeah.
And Franklin goes bye-bye pretty quick, don't he? Like
That's
30
true.
seconds.
Well, I don't. Yeah. He's just annoying. That's all.
I have to agree with you. Franklin was pretty annoying. Wasn't as bad as that guy that wanted to rub blood on you and stuff.
Well, I mean, he was fun because he was so crazy and creepy and weird. You know, it really led you into the movie.
I'll be honest, I enjoyed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 with the dude with the chainsaw battles and all that stuff a lot better.
I love that, like, the same guy directed both movies, and they're like complete opposites. Like the first Texas Chainsaw movie,
Chainsaw who went to battle with him in Part 2.
it's Dennis Hopper, and he's like dual wielding.
Dennis Hopper in Part 2 was the whole experience.
Love
I'm a
that
Dennis
movie.
Hopper guy, man.
That movie's so insane. It's great. I love it.
I enjoyed it so much more because somebody wasn't screaming for 45 minutes.
True. She's not like the final girl in that one's not a screamer. She takes control.
Yeah, I just don't like. The
Stretch.
loud screaming pitch for so long and for now really annoys me for some reason.
No, I mean, I think it goes on way too long, but I think part of what he was trying to do with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one, was that he was trying to test your endurance. Like, you know, this is going to be intense for a long time and you're just going to have to put up with it. And that doesn't make for a pleasant viewing experience time after time.
No.
Time after time.
If you're lost, you will not be.
Hey, UFO man. Yeah.
Hey, Tim, how's it going?
What's up, Tim?
Hi, Tim.
Yeah, hopefully Tim's feeling better.
Hope you feel
Yeah.
better.
Like I've been sick, he's been way sicker.
Oh
poor
no,
Tim.
I'm
Probably
sorry,
some
Tim.
of that
Sorry.
contamination from them UFOs he be getting took up on.
God.
Hey, look. In California, we have UFOs everywhere. Okay, so we're all contaminated out here. You want to come to California, everyone?
No, I've never
We got it all.
wanted to go to California. I'll
I
go
would-
visit, maybe hang out at
Oh,
Fisherman's
okay.
Wharf or something.
What? Go where?
I lived there for a while.
Yeah, it shows, Dan. It shows.
Nothing wonderful. Nothing says home like to seeing all the buildings all around you fall to the ground.
Listen, you don't know if you're home if that's not happening. That doesn't happen everywhere else. Wait,
I'm
what?
glad I wasn't home. I'm glad I wasn't home when that was happening because the building I was written in fell to the ground. If I'd been at home, I wouldn't be here now. That's why I moved from
What?
California back to South Carolina.
What was that during the Northridge quake,
Detroit.
Dan?
Huh?
Was that during the Northridge quake?
I don't know.
Oh, so I remember that one being so powerful that it hit LA. I felt it in Jamaica like it was happening here.
It was the Great Quake of 1906, I think. Yeah.
That explains
Yeah,
everything.
Sarah, you were a baby
I
when
was
it
out there for a
happened.
while.
I was not a baby. Like
Well, you're young.
I was really young, yeah. I mean, I was, but I remember it all. I remember going to LA afterwards, right? So I went to go spend the week at my grandparents' house, and like all these buildings were down, the carports were down, like all the stuff was down. And like the Mattel building had some damage to it, but Mattel had already left at this point, I think. I'm not sure. Anyways, but yeah, it was crazy. And we felt it in Temecula. And mind you, I was asleep in my brother's bed, my brother was in LA at my grandparents' house, right? And so my mom comes in, like I'm sleeping through the whole thing. I'm upstairs, the house is just all over the place, right? And I'm sleeping through it all. My mom comes in, she throws me into the bed with her and my dad. So that's a water bed. So now I'm up and down, shaking all around. Neighbor's pool sloshing water out. We can hear that upstairs, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was hardcore. And now I'm getting seasick in bed with my parents. Why? I was asleep.
Bye, Indy. We're gonna wrap up real soon anyway. We're almost
I
done.
got a really horrible memory. I do.
Okay.
Oh, man, I'll start thinking about something and draw a complete blank on it.
I hate
Especially
that.
movie star names or names of movies or freaking episodes of TV shows I saw 20 years ago that can't remember certain, like the name of the episode or the title of the show it was. Can't remember that one. I'm still looking.
What I really hate is when it's something that I should know and something that I obviously do know, but like as soon as I can't remember it, my brain doesn't want me to ever remember it. Like I will just it'll just
Google. I had to actually Google it to remember it was the earthquake in 1987.
Yeah.
And I lived in Brooklyn Narrows. Now I remember. But
so that one, I was a little kid and like kindergarten age.
The building
I remember
was
that one.
Completely crashed to the ground. I lost everything I had except for the clothes on my back and my wallet. I just remember I remember going to the airport, getting on an airplane and saying, well, I'm through with California. I was lucky I had enough money for a plane ticket,
Right before the earthquake hit, I was watching Gem.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that episode of Gem. Yeah.
I was out of the country. I was in London when it happened.
My aunt was missing. She was in San Francisco during the time where she lived there, right? And she was missing for like a week before we found out that she had been camping the whole time, wasn't there.
I mean, that's a happy ending.
Right, yeah, it was. But at home, everybody in Long Beach were like,
now that I'm having memories, 86 and 87 did not go well for me.
Sorry, Dan.
I had a lot of fun, but it just didn't go well.
Well, I got out of kindergarten in first grade, so I did okay.
I was in college.
Okay, we all made it.
Yeah, I was somewhere in elementary school. I don't know.
Right? You remember
the Challenger explosion was in there somewhere. That was
right?
Yeah.
Right?
I saw that with my own eyes. Yeah.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't, but
Florida.
I remember hearing about the hurricanes going on in Homestead back in the day.
I remember like when Andrew went through, and I went down to the Keys afterwards, and I saw like the Keys was just devastated, and like they were still.
Wow.
This was like months later, and they were still basically vacuuming up water out of like tall apartment buildings and pouring it back into the ocean. Like I had never seen that before, and I'm talking about like hoses that were going all the way to the top of like 5-story apartment buildings. Like,
Jesus.
Wow.
how is that? How? What?
Because it broke up the walls and then dumped on the top, and then water fall down because physics.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just insane.
I think
Mm.
there's a movie that got me, and it's still as an adult it got me. Is watching the movie Citizen Kane. There's something very haunting about that movie. It's like, especially when it goes Rosebud, and you see the the glass
The snow
globe
globe,
going
yeah.
down all the stairs, and then it crashes. I'm like, what the hell?
Dude, there was an episode of Columbo. That was the first time I ever heard about that movie. It was in this episode of Columbo. It was awesome.
The movie was
That's one of the
awesome.
movies I saw when I was 9 years old or something that I never watched again.
I think I fell asleep
Citizen
during
Kane-
it.
Even today, some of the like weird camera angles and like the idea of like showing the snow globe and not showing the faces of the people in the room,
Yeah,
it still looks interesting and different. It still looks really stylish. You know,
for me it looks haunting.
Yeah, it's a very, very the reason it's considered one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah, it's intense.
No. And yeah, what a way to open a movie with a mystery. Like, who is this person? What is Rosebud? What? That's what the whole movie
You
is about.
find out it's a sled.
It's just a sled.
Right?
Spoiler alert.
And I've never sledded in my life, so this
It's
movie
his
means nothing
lost
to me.
boyhood, you know. It's his lost
Yeah,
innocence.
yeah.
That's all it is.
Mhm.
Great movie. Great movie. Anyway, we're at the hour and a half mark. I think we're gonna end on Citizen Kane. That's a great way to end.
Perfect. Yeah, Citizen Kane, everyone.
Fine.
So I'll be back next week with a different panel. Hopefully, Thrash will have his computer issues sorted out, and we'll have Damien and Chance probably. You know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Right?
Got to make sure Chance is wearing pants. If he's not wearing pants, he's not coming up.
Well, you know, sometimes you wear shorts too.
I don't need to see his butt again.
So I have that loaded up. I can play it for you anytime.
No, it's fine.
No,
It's
let's
fine.
get this underwear.
I've seen it enough.
Good golly.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Because
It's
I
been
can play it
fun.
Thursday
Yes,
if you
it has
want.
been fun. Thank you all for being here. Had a
What a
blast.
blast, man.
Me
I
too.
always
Well,
like
thanks
being on
for
the show
thanks for
with you.
having me, Geek. It's been fun, like always.
Thank you too, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. Like you're always welcome here. You know.
Well, yeah, she's awesome. Of course she is. She's one of
Yeah.
those people. It's just welcome places.
And I appreciate you coming on such short notice again. Just like last time, I gave you maybe 5 minutes notice. This time, at least, I gave you a couple hours.
It's like, what do I do on Sundays? Is just pre-planned meals for the week and all that. I mean, I'm technically a housewife now, so what else have I got?
I
Right?
know the feeling. I really do. I am also a housewife.
I am a
More
Well,
like a wife
I'm
for
in the
me.
house.
I'm old and retired and disabled. I don't have a life. I'm always free on Sunday.
No,
That's
Dan,
awesome.
you're
Sundays.
great. You're really great, Dan. I think you're great. You tell it just the way you want to say it.
And you are an
Yeah.
awesome addition to this panel. I really do appreciate having you here. You're great.
I got a playlist on my Danny Staten channel. It's called Cool Movies, and people want to check them out. There's some movies on there you probably hadn't seen, and some of them that might blow your mind.
Awesome.
Just real
Nick?
quick here. Al in my chat said that Chance dropped his pants in his studio, and now Al is forever scarred. I am so sorry for you, Al. We'll watch it again Thursday.
He did drop his pants, the poor guy.
Well, no, he was at
Well,
real
I've only
quick.
done that once.
Please don't play the clip.
Yeah,
He's only done it once.
I have control. I don't have to show
I
it.
know you have the control.
right. Yeah, it's not even on my StreamYard. This isn't my StreamYard. Anyways, my point being is in brief, he was in a store. His pants fell down. He doesn't wear a belt. I don't know. No D keys, no
Oh, good
belts.
God.
Chance.
Yeah, it happens.
They had to reenact it.
He controls the vertical. He controls the horizontal.
Exactly. There you go.
Right? That was true.
All right. So
Mwah,
I'm gonna
chance.
call it. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Oh,
Um,
so
later
everybody
tonight?
be sure to join me and Sarah later today when we hang
Yes.
out with Trash Pondo Ponds, destroying Stephen King movies.
And then see
Okay,
everybody
cool.
Thursday too.
More Stephen King movies.
Awesome.
Yes, and I will be there on Thursday as well.
Yes,
Um,
everybody will be. Because
Hey, we've been
Thursday's the
talking
day of
about having
giggles.
a guest, Tug. Maybe you should join Men Thrash tonight and talk Stephen King.
I can send him the link.
I got
I
no
could.
plans. Sure.
Good.
Well,
I'll send him the link.
When he's not watching, we'll just surprise Ponds and not tell him about it till you're there.
Right? Well, you won't know.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be
I'll
awesome.
send the
I'd,
link afterwards.
I'd love to be there. That'd be
Hey,
great.
you'll be our first guest.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Cool.
it's a date.
Neato. Call
I'm married.
Oh, I didn't mean like
I'm
that. I
married,
just,
Dan. Down.
well, he's your fanboy.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, I'm going to push the
Family.
button now. So
Hmm.
never be ashamed of what you love.
Thank you and good night.